Yeah, buddy.
I'm almost finished.
Okay, I'll come check it in a second.
I just want to feel the warm breeze.
Okay, well, don't be interrupting. You want to feel the warm breeze?
Yeah.
The young king, young prince wants to feel the warm breeze. You comfortable over there?
Yeah. I'm just waiting.
All they can see is your hair. It's dark outside. We got these Halloween lights up. You can't. It's not as clear as it was. Actually, will you step in there and turn on the light?
Yeah, I was
What's happening? Revelations with Ray tonight.
I was just about to say.
We talking about will, free will, willpower.
Oh, you had technical difficulties for a minute.
No, I didn't have technical difficulties, but I hear you though. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock. Shout out to anybody joining tonight. Appreciate your love as always. Tonight I just wanted the quick hit on the Revelations with Ray. Talk about will, free will, and willpower. Actually, more so about willpower. Willpower, your ability and strength to do or not to do. It is probably the most important characteristic or attribute that we possess in terms of how we shape our physical and mental. And I think it's just really important. You know, it's, for one, something that I work on and have definitely purposefully thought about and worked on over the last year or so, especially when it comes to my physical appearance and physical being, is to harness my willpower to do the things that I don't necessarily feel like doing. And the thing about willpower, it's funny, you know what I'm saying, because it's a mind game, and we all have, you know, quote unquote, that free will to utilize our willpower any way we so choose to. And the lack of strengthening or using our willpower correctly creates the bad habits that we have, and the use of our willpower correctly creates all the good habits that we like about ourselves. And for me, like, and I'm sure, I don't know about you, raise your hand if so, talk to your boy, but it starts immediately when I open my eyes in the morning, especially since I've been on this weight, this health kick, and really trying to keep my physical right. You know, I'll set a plan to say I'm gonna exercise or do this tomorrow. I'm gonna hit the gym in the morning or whatever. And regardless of how I feel when I wake up, I can feel good, whatever. The mind games start as soon as I open my eyes. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, if I could just sleep a little bit longer. Oh, blah, blah, you know, and it just starts hitting you. And if you have a history, and this is just in terms of exercising, because there's obviously all type of, willpower has to do with all things, even when it comes to doing work. But if and I should say before I continue, you know, if you were used to doing something since childhood, or used to not doing something since childhood and kind of been trained in a certain manner, or not trained, it's easier for your willpower to operate in that realm. So for example, if you're, you know, and I'm just using workout as an example, or physical exercise as an example, if you grew up or have a history of doing physical exercise, playing sports, things like that, being in the weight room, being in the gym, running and stuff like that, you know, there's a history within your being that allows your willpower to have some strength in that area. On the flip side, if you don't have that in your history, then you will need to exact more of your willpower in order to bring that out of you, if that makes sense. So you're going to need to, it's going to take a lot more of yourself up and get yourself out of bed and get active. It's going to take more of something that you're not used to doing. And the more you do it, the more you defeat the side of you that doesn't want to do it, the stronger your will towards that comes. And it becomes habit. And you create that habit for yourself. But we all have willpower. It's a matter of how we use it. And it really goes with the saying, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And most of the times they probably referring to sex when they say something like that, but anything with your mind, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. And right when you wake up, those things that you told yourself, or set those goals that you set out for yourself to do, when you start that little mind that starts talking to you, every time you don't do it and you give in, you weaken your willpower. You take something from yourself, I'm telling you, you become weaker. And not only that aspect of life, but in other aspects of life, it starts taking away from you being truly as strong as you can be in all things that you do. And that's why it's important not to set impossible goals for yourself, especially in areas that you're not strong in. You have to set baby step goals in order to increase the strength of your will. And as you increase the strength of your will in the areas you're weakest in, the areas you're strong in will also grow more strength. Like, you'll be better in those areas. So, for example, if you're lacking in the physical well-being of your life, but you're mentally sharp, you know what I'm saying? You're organized, like you're book smart and things like that. To conquer the weakest link of you will only make you more smart in the areas and more effective in the areas that you're already effective in. Because you're gaining confidence in a weak side of you that you had low confidence in before. It's only going to serve to elevate your confidence all across the board. And that's why it's important to attack those things that you don't have a lot of confidence in, and attack those areas that you are weak in. If it's communication, talking in front of people, speaking in front of people, make it a point to attack that area. Summon whatever willpower that you have in that realm to attack it, and start speaking more. Randomly start speaking to people and sparking up conversations to become more comfortable simply talking. Because a lot of people have trouble, talking in front of crowds and things like that. So I say that to say it's, and I'm a work in progress as always. We all are. Again, even this morning, and sometimes it's a decision you make between to do this or to do that, that's equally of importance, so to speak, whether it's to go work on yourself, physical fitness, or go in to work a little bit earlier. You know what I mean? And get your day started earlier. To do this or to do that, something that has equal importance, but one thing you're already confident in, the other you're not. And 9 times out of 10, your settling side of your brain tends to pull you in the direction of doing the thing that you're already comfortable doing. But that does not help strengthen your will. If you can actually pull yourself to go do the thing that you're not as comfortable doing first and getting that out of the way, everything else is breezy. Like, because you've gotten a low confidence activity out of the way and built upon that, now the things that you do for the rest of the day that you're already confident in, you're gonna breeze through, especially not having that on the back burner of your brain. So, for me personally, and I get on here and try to use my personal experiences and the things that I deal with to talk about, and hopefully try to uh, really encourage somebody that may not be thinking about it in a certain way or whatnot to try something different and try attacking those weaknesses. And you may even hit the snooze button once or twice, but if you told yourself, you know what, I'm gonna start getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and going for that walk, or doing some push-ups or some jumping jacks, even if you don't get up till 5:05, 5:10, get up and do it and start chipping away at trying to change the way you usually operate. You have to start to slowly get out of your comfort zone, and you have to utilize your willpower. God gave us free will to do things at our own discretion, to live how we want to live, and it's really up to you, and it's your choice. And it's not going to be a easy thing, and you'll slip a time or two, but if you keep at it and you keep chipping away, at whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, take it from me, one day you're gonna wake up possessed. And not gonna get all spiritual on you, but one day you're gonna wake up possessed, and something's gonna take over you. What you've been praying for, what you've been trying to achieve, one day you're just gonna wake up possessed, and you just gonna be getting after it, day in and day out. You just gonna be getting after it. And there's no certain time frame. I know they say it takes 30 days to build a habit, whatever it is, 40 60 days to sustain it. There's no real timetable, but if you continue to chip away with it, I can assure you that one day you're gonna wake up possessed, and it's just gonna hit you, and then you're not gonna know how to stop. You understand me? Like, you're not gonna know how to stop. Like, you're gonna be on the roll, you're gonna be on the ball, and that's when you'll know that you've made a breakthrough. And not until you get to that point where it becomes second nature to you, to what you used to find uncomfortable, now you can't not do, will you know that you've made a breakthrough, and that you can potentially move on to tackle the next stepping stone or stumbling block. And as I say that, I'm watching one of the little neighbor girls out here right now running back and forth, getting her exercise on, putting in that work. It's a Mamba mentality out here. You got to put that work in whenever you can put that work in. A lot of people say, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that. Nobody's got time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. You have to make time and find the time to do the things that you claim that you want to achieve. I always say, people, I still a line from Nas, sleep is the cousin of death. People talk about you need 8 hours of sleep, you need 10 hours of sleep. Hey man, that's just a generalization. You understand me? You don't know how many hours of sleep you really need, or you can really operate off of, if you don't try to operate off of those less hours. It's just a fact. Them are generalizations. The surgeon come out here and say, oh, you need 14 hours of sleep. Well, damn it, you sleeping away the half day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 24 hours in the sun cycle. They out here telling you need 8 hours of sleep. You sleeping away down a third of the day. You feel me? You spend a third of the day sleeping. You spend a third of your lifetime sleeping. When you gonna eventually die. I just don't believe in all this sleep. So you never know what you can do until you actually attempt to do it. It's all this, these doctors, and I believe in science, but it's all a recommendation based off a scale of, you know 25 to 3,000 people that have been tested. They tell you right there, we tested 10,000 people. Well, damn it, it's about 10 billion. Everybody operates on a different accord. So the generalized test that you putting out there for somebody might not work for me. Somebody might go pop a Tylenol pill and feel some relief. Tylenol might not work for me. Somebody might go pop, any of all this other medication. You on medicine, hey, that medicine might not work for me. It's just a generalization, people. Stop using science and medical recommendations as excuses, and get to it and determine for yourself what works for you. Because what worked for all these other people, they did something that was once said couldn't work or shouldn't work that way. They out here writing books about how they did something different and it worked for them. You could write a book. You know what I'm saying? So recommendations and generalizations are not facts, people. They're not facts. Everybody works differently and operates differently. And until you try something different, then you're just giving an opinion about what works and what doesn't work, or what should happen and what shouldn't happen. So create your own facts. Work your willpower. Do what you got to do to be the best you. That's all I got to say. I'm going to get up out the way. Half of the Grayscale is going black. Love.